Corvette with a trunk big enough for a drum kit, a Mustang wagon that vanished off the face of the earth, and a Cadillac station wagon that cost more to build in 1955 than a house in the Hollywood Hills. America built some of the wildest, rarest, and flat-out strangest wagons in automotive history, and almost nobody remembers they existed. Some had fewer than 5 ever made. Others were never sold to the public at all. A few have simply disappeared, and the people who built them spent decades searching. These are 8 rare American wagons you never knew existed. Number 8, the 1972 AMC Hornet Gucci Sportabout. Yes, you read that right, Gucci, on an AMC. In the early 1970s, American Motors was the scrappy little underdog of Detroit, building budget cars out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. They could not compete with GM or Ford on horsepower or luxury, so they tried something nobody had ever done before. They called up the Italian fashion house Gucci and asked them to design a car, interior. The result was the Hornet Gucci Sportabout, a compact station wagon with beige Gucci-designed upholstery featuring the iconic red and green racing stripe, Gucci logo emblems on the door panels, and exterior badging that announced you were driving a piece of Italian fashion on American wheels. MC marketed it as not so much a station wagon as a sporty car with cargo space. They even built a 101 version with a 304 V8 and full leather interior for Dr. Aldo Gucci personally. Here's the funny part. In 1972, almost nobody in America knew what Gucci was. These were economy cars bought by people who needed something cheap and practical. Most were driven into the ground and scrapped. Very few survive today with the original Gucci interior intact, because the headliner and trim are nearly impossible to replace. A clean 1972 example sold on Bring a Trailer in August 2023 for $25,000, a record for any AMC Hornet. The success of the Gucci collaboration led AMC down a rabbit hole of fashion partnerships. Pierre Cardin Javelins, Oleg Cassini Matadors. None of them had the same charm as the Gucci Sportabout, which remains the most absurd collision of Italian high fashion and Kenosha, Wisconsin economy engineering ever put on 4 wheels. But if you think a Gucci-branded wagon is rare, wait until you see the production numbers on this next one. Number 7, the 2008 Dodge Magnum SRT8. When Dodge launched the Magnum in 2005, it was an attempt to bring back the American rear-wheel drive wagon. The regular Magnum was a solid family hauler, but the SRT8 version was something else entirely. Under that functional hood scoop sat a 6.1-liter Hemi 5.8, cranking out 425 horsepower, all sent through a Mercedes-derived 5-speed automatic to the rear wheels. This wagon hit 0 to 60 in roughly 5 seconds and ran the quarter mile in about 13 seconds. Its wheelbase was actually longer than a contemporary Cadillac Escalade. Then Chrysler killed it. The 2008 financial crisis forced a complete restructuring, and the entire Magnum line was axed. That final model year produced only 239 SRT8 Magnums. Want one in steel blue? Only 29 were made. Tor red, just 50. The Magnum SRT8 became the last full-size American rear-wheel drive wagon ever produced, and Hagerty just placed it on the 2025 bull market list, calling it rarer than many exotics. Clean examples now sell for $25,000 to $45,000, and they are climbing fast. Production numbers were confirmed directly by Ralph Gills, then Chrysler's VP of Design, which gives you a sense of how closely this car's legacy is tracked by the people who built it. This is the last of a dying breed, and the market is finally waking up to the fact that nothing will ever replace it. Speaking of dying breeds, this next wagon takes rarity to a completely different level. Number 6, the 1960 and 1961 Dodge Polara Hardtop station wagon. Imagine a station wagon where every single window rolls down and there are no pillars between them. Open air cruising in a full-size 9-passenger family hauler. That is exactly what Dodge built during the height of the jet age. Designed by legendary stylist Virgil Exner as part of his forward-look philosophy, the Polara hardtop wagon featured pillarless construction, soaring tail fins with jet pod taillights, a see-through speedometer, a steering wheel with actual lucite and metal flake, and a push-button, torque-flight automatic transmission. Under the hood, a 383 cubic inch V8, making 325 horsepower. In 1960, Dodge built 1,768 9-passenger versions. By 1961, Dodge sales had collapsed 53% across the entire brand. The company dropped from 6th place to 9th in the industry, and only 419 hardtop wagons left the factory, making it one of the lowest production wagons in post-war American history. As few as 5 are believed to survive from the 1960 model year, and here's a twist that nobody would have predicted. Most of the known survivors were collected by Swedish Mopar enthusiasts, where a small but passionate community has kept these space-age wagons alive thousands of miles from where they were built. A surviving example was offered at Gooding and Company with an estimate of $40,000 to $55,000. But the Polara was merely rare by accident. This next car was rare on purpose. Number 5. The 1973 Chevelle Malibu SS454 wagon. For exactly 1 year and only 1 year, Chevrolet let you order a station wagon wearing the legendary Supersport badge with a 454 cubic inch big block V8 under the hood. The 1973 Chevelle wagon could be equipped with the Z15 Supersport package and the LS4 454, producing 245 horsepower and nearly 400 pound-feet of torque. You could even get it with a 4-speed manual, though almost nobody did. The new Colonnade body style had just replaced the classic A body, and the look was polarizing. Big bumpers, squared-off lines, and emissions equipment were already strangling the muscle car era. Of the roughly 5,961 three-seat Malibu wagons Chevrolet built that year, about 1,432 got the SS package, and only 71 of those received the 454. 71 cars. Total, that is it. The oil crisis was looming, insurance rates on big engines were skyrocketing, and the idea of a muscle car wagon was about as countercultural as it got. Some Chevy historians still debate whether all 71 were truly factory-produced or whether some were dealer-installed combinations, which only adds to the mystique. Automotive writer Aaron Severson called it the ultimate dad stash car, and he was not wrong. A 454 SS wagon sold on Bring a Trailer in 2021 for just $21,000, and Mecum moved another in 2023 for $23,000. For something this rare, those prices are almost criminal. If you are enjoying this deep dive into forgotten American metal, hit subscribe. I cover rare cars, automotive history, and the stories the mainstream channels skip every single week. Now, if you thought a factory muscle wagon was wild, this next entry is on a completely different planet. Number 4. The 1955 and 1956 Cadillac View-Master by Hess and Eisenhart. Cadillac never built a factory station wagon, not once in the brand's entire history. But in the mid-1950s, a coach builder called Hess and Eisenhart, the same company that built armored limousines for the President of the United States, decided to build one anyway. Working from Cadillac Series 62 chassis, they fabricated full estate wagon bodies using commercial cowl and floor pans, Fleetwood doors, chrome window pillars, and in a clever bit of parts bin engineering, the rear tailgate glass from a Chevrolet Nomad. Most featured imitation wood-grain fiberglass side panels and seated 8 passengers across 3 rows. Each one was finished in a different color, truly bespoke in every sense. They built 11 in 1955 and 7 in 1956. That is roughly 18 cars total. Each one cost approximately $75,000 to produce, which in today's money is about $893,000 for a station wagon. In the 1950s, the owner's list reads like a 1950s Hollywood premiere. Dean Martin had one. So did Clark Gable, Burt Lancaster, Debbie Reynolds, boxer Joe Louis. These were the most expensive station wagons ever built to that point, owned by people whose names defined an era of American entertainment. About 7 are known to survive today. Values range from $150,000 to well over $300,000. The vast majority of Cadillac enthusiasts have never heard of them, and that level of rarity is hard to top. But this next entry manages it. Number 3, the 1972 Hurst Olds Vista Cruiser Indy 500 pace car wagons. After the catastrophic 1971 Indianapolis 500, where a Dodge Challenger pace car struck a photographer's stand, not a single automaker in Detroit would sponsor a pace car for 1972. So Hurst Performance stepped in with an Oldsmobile Cutlass convertible, making it the only time in history that a non-manufacturer paced the 500. Alongside the roughly 630 production Hurst Olds coupes built that year, Hurst also built exactly 4 station wagons for track duty. One Vista Cruiser was assigned to the medical director. 3 Cutlass wagons went to press, the track photographer, and Hurst representatives. They featured 455 cubic inch V8s, cameo white paint with gold Hurst decals, the signature dual intake fiberglass hood, and Hurst dual gate shifters. 4 cars, never offered for sale, built exclusively for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Their current whereabouts are largely a mystery. One is believed to reside at the GM Heritage Center, but the other 3 have faded into the kind of obscurity that drives collectors insane. A standard 1972 Hurst Olds hardtop sells for $30,000 to $60,000 at auction. A genuine pace car wagon, if one ever surfaced, would be essentially priceless. Greenlight Collectibles produced a 1/64 die-cast of the Vista Cruiser Medical Director car, which means more people own a toy version than have ever seen the real thing. But there is one car on this list that is even rarer than a batch of 4. This next entry is a batch of 1. Number 2. The 1965 Ford Mustang shooting brake by Intermechanica. In 1965, an advertising executive named Barney Clark from J. Walter Thompson, which happened to be Ford's own ad agency, teamed up with car and driver designer Robert Cumberford and enthusiast Jim Licata. They bought a stock 1965 Mustang hardtop with a 289 V8 and shipped it across the Atlantic to Costruzione Automobili Intermeccanica in Turin, Italy. Italian craftsmen fabricated a new rear roof section with a bottom-hinged tailgate, a fully retractable rear window, and folding rear seats. The result was a stunningly elegant shooting brake that looked, frankly, better than the stock Mustang. It made the cover of Car and Driver's October 1966 issue, and the automotive press praised it as the car Ford should have been building all along. The plan was simple. Show it to Ford executives and convince them to authorize production. Ford said no. The trio approached Holman Moody, the legendary racing outfit, about building them. They declined. They tried the former Studebaker plant in South Bend, Indiana. Also declined. The dream of a production Mustang wagon died right there in a series of boardroom rejections. The original car was repainted multiple times, passing through different hands, changing from white to red to ivy green metallic before it simply disappeared. Jim Licata searched for it for the rest of his life. He never found it. Somewhere, possibly in a barn on the East Coast, possibly destroyed, sits the only Mustang station wagon ever built. The greatest Ford that Ford never made. And finally, Number 1. The 2011 to 2014 Cadillac CTS-V Wagon with a 6-speed manual. If every other car on this list represents what America lost, this one represents what America almost never got in the first place. The CTS-V Wagon packed a supercharged 6.2-liter LSA V8, the same family of engine that powered the Corvette ZR1, producing 556 horsepower and 551 pound-feet of torque. And Cadillac offered it with a Tremec 6-speed manual transmission. In a station wagon, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, top speed above 185 miles per hour, magnetic ride control, Brembo brakes, optional Recaro seats, and 58 cubic feet of cargo space to haul groceries on the way home from demolishing a Porsche on a back road. Cadillac built approximately 1,767 CTS-V wagons in total. Only 514 of those came with the manual. That is fewer than Ferrari produces in a single year. Enthusiast forums have painstakingly tracked every single manual wagon by VIN, color, and options, treating them like the automotive artifacts they are. The highest recorded auction sale was $121,000 for a 2012 manual wagon on Bring a Trailer in August 2022. That is nearly double what the car cost new. Manual wagons regularly trade between $60,000 and $80,000, and the trajectory is only going one direction. Gear Patrol once called them rarer than mountain gorillas. And unlike every other wagon on this list, this is the one you can still find, still drive, and still experience. You can drop your kids at school, hit a track day, and stop for groceries on the way home, all in a car that would embarrass a BMW M5 in a straight line. It is the last great American performance wagon, and the market knows it. Here's the thing about all 8 of these cars. The station wagon was always the vehicle America needed, but was embarrassed to celebrate. For decades, wagons were coded as suburban, uncool, the opposite of everything a car enthusiast was supposed to care about. Meanwhile, the manufacturers were building some of the most extraordinary versions imaginable, and almost nobody noticed. The funny part is that the wagon never actually died. It just changed its name. Look at a Kia EV6 from the side, or a Polestar 3, or a Honda Prologue. The EPA actually classifies the Kia EV6 as a small station wagon, but no manufacturer would dare call them that because the word wagon is still considered marketing poison. The form was too practical to kill, but the name was too uncool to keep. The collector market noticed, though. A 1956 Nomad just set a record at $341,000. Hagerty is flagging wagons as a rising category. The CTS-V manual wagon has appreciated faster than most supercars, and somewhere out there, a 101 Mustang shooting brake is waiting to be found. If you want to see more deep dives into the cars that history forgot, that video is on screen right now.